Good morning everybody. Myself Dr. Farida Tabasum. I am assistant professor in the Department of Forensic Medicine. Today we will be discussing about the very important topic dyslexia. The objective of this topic will be to understand what is dyslexia, different types of dyslexia. Basically we will be focusing on the violent dyslexia that is mechanical dyslexia. So we will be discussing about the mechanical dyslexia like hanging, strangulation, suffocation and drowning. So let's start with the definition of dyslexia. So what is dyslexia? It is a condition in which there is extreme decrease in the oxygen concentration in the body accompanied by the increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the body. That means the exclusion of air from the lungs. Hence the term asphyxia, A means no and asphyxias means heartbeat or pulse. So it can be also characterized or said to be the pulselessness. So and hence literally asphyxia is the absence of heartbeat or pulse. So we will further move and will discuss what is the term hypoxia means. Hypoxia is the decrease in the oxygen supply at the tissue level, and there are 4 types of hypoxia. Majorly it is characterized as a hypoxic hypoxia or diffusion hypoxia or generalized hypoxia, and second one is anemic hypoxia, the third one is stagnant hypoxia, and the last one is histotoxic asphyxia. So due to inadequate saturation of blood with oxygen caused by reduced oxygen supply in air or decreased ventilation or respiratory disease. So at this point the partial pressure of oxygen in arterial blood is lower than the normal. So there are certain examples like deep sea diving with less oxygen supply, bronchial asthma or obstructive sleep apnea. The second one is anemic hypoxia, hence the name is anemic, means oxygen carrying capacity of blood is reduced. That is, the examples are anemia. The third one is stagnant hypoxia. It means stagnant. Something is stagnant. So due to decrease in blood flow resulting into inadequate blood supply at tissue level. For example, cardiac arrest. And the fourth one is histotoxic hypoxia. So in histotoxic hypoxia, tissue being damaged can't utilize the oxygen or absorb it from blood. Example is cyanide poisoning or overuse of alcohol or certain drugs. So in this cyanide poisoning, the cytochrome oxidase, an enzyme of cellular respiration, disrupts. So we have discussed the 4 types of hypoxia. Now we will move on to our topic, the mechanical asphyxia. The mechanical asphyxia is also called as a violent asphyxial death. So we will be majorly discussing the mechanical asphyxia. So what is mechanical asphyxia? In this type of asphyxia there is mechanical hindrance in ventilation of blood. That means there may be a constriction of windpipe or an obstruction to flow of oxygen. Or we can also say that something present between the air and exchange surface of lung is hampering the gaseous exchange. So there are 4 types of mechanical asphyxia we have to discuss. Like hanging first, second is strangulation, third is drowning and suffocation. So we will discuss one by one. So we start with the very important topic, hanging. So we will describe what is hanging. So hanging is that form of mechanical asphyxia in which there is body is suspended by ligature material around the neck and the constriction force being the weight of the body. That means hanging is basically caused by hanging the body, and the constriction force or is around the neck, and the weight of the body is majorly responsible here to provide the force of constriction. So there are 4 types of hanging. It is complete, partial, atypical and typical hanging. So we will be discussing one by one what are the different types of hanging. So what is complete hanging? In this, the whole body is off the ground. That means no part of the body is supported and body is suspended only by ligature. So total body weight acts as a constricting force, and trachea is constricted and causing the death. The second one is partial or incomplete hanging. So in this type of hanging, the toes or feet are touching the ground. That means some part of the body, for example toes and feet, are touching the ground. So the person may also be sitting or kneeling or lying down with only chest and head of the ground. So weight of the body transmitted to ground via feet. So the third one is typical hanging. So in typical hanging, knot is placed at occiput. Occiput and the mark is usually inverted V shape. So the placement of knot is very important for the typical hanging. That means ki knot is placed at occiput, and the atypical hanging is knot is placed at any place other than occiput. Any place, that means ki not at occiput. It can be on the lateral angle of mandible. Either it can be on left side or right side or any other, but not at the occiput. So next we will discussing about the main things in case of the hanging will be the ligature material. So it is for us to know the ligating material, what is the types of ligating material, what material is used for the ligature and so on. So anything available may be used as a ligature material for suicidal hanging. Materials may be rope or metallic chain or dupatta or sari or belt. Next we will discussing about the cause of death in case of the hanging. So there are mainly 4 vital structures in the neck which may be constricted when the body is suspended. So it is jugular vein, carotid artery, trachea and vertebral artery. So constriction of any of these or constriction of any of these can lead to the death in case of hanging. So there are some force needed to constrict these structures. So that force we will discuss. For example, in the jugular vein, that force will be of 2 kg. In carotid artery, it is between 4 to 5 kg. In trachea, it is 15 kg, and in vertebral artery, it is 20 to 30 kg. So here we can easily say that the least pressure is 2 kg, so which can be provided by the constriction of jugular vein, and the vertebral artery compression needed at least 20 to 30 kg. So any of the structure when constricted can lead to cause of death, or it can be it can cause death. So the one important topic, the postmortem findings in case of hanging. So there is a classical triad of asphyxia, which is very important. This triad includes cyanosis, congestion, and trachea. As far as the hanging is concerned, ligature mark in the neck is the most important sign of death from hanging. So the first thing we'll see in case of hanging, and we'll focus in case of hanging, is the ligature mark around the neck. So these all signs are also describe the death due to asphyxia. Hence it is a classical triad like cyanosis, congestion and trachea. But in case of hanging, the most important, externally we will see the ligature mark in the neck. So as a medico-legal expert, so when we see any case of hanging, so our the most important thing will be to focus externally and internally in the postmortem findings, externally or internally. So externally we can see the most important thing is the ligature mark. So there is just certain things which can easily describe. There are certain points which is easily describe the ligature mark due to hanging. So described with features such as direction, continuity, wide and depth, color and specific pattern. So what we will see, any of this. The consistency, that means ki is their ligature mark is oblique, or where it is located, above thyroid cartilage or lower the thyroid cartilage, below, that means below or above the thyroid cartilage. It is continuous or not, what is the consistency, so which kind of material could have been used, what is the depth and breadth of this ligature mark, and consistency. The consistency is also very important, but consistency you can see only during the internal examination of the mark. So it could be like parchment like due to drying of abraded skin, which you can see externally, but after you make a incision in the ligature mark, you can see the usually pale in color. Shape depends upon the position and types of nerve. So in any case we can usually focus on the pattern of ligature mark. So we have discussed already. We'll see the things like whether it is a parchment like, what is the color, usually it is brownish to pale. So what is the color? This is a type of pressure abrasion. So we'll see about how its consistency. It is like a parchment like, or where is its position, above the thyroid cartilage, or whether it is a oblique or transverse. So this is the main things. There are many other signs also, like dribbling of saliva. Most characteristic signs of antemortem hanging, like a dribbling of saliva from either of the angle of mouth. It can be right angle or left angle, or could be both, from angle of mouth. Occurs due to stimulation of the submandibular salivary gland by the ligature. So dribbling of saliva, tracheal hemorrhage we have already discussed. That seminal discharge can be seen in the case of hanging. Seminal at the meatus of the pens. Urine and fecal material may be discharged due to relaxation of sphincters. Tongue may be protruded due to the lifting of glossopharyngeal skeleton by ligature. So these signs we can see also in the case of hanging externally. Postmortem hypothesis also play a role to determine the time since death in case of the hanging. So may develop in the forearm, hands, legs and feet as these become dependent parts. So one can see the stockings, gloves and stockings type of postmortem lividity. So that too will describe or will help to estimate the time since death. La fascia sympathetica. In some cases, the knot may press the cervical sympathetic chain. So it results into opening of the same side of eye with the dilation of pupil. So we have described the external findings in case of post-mortem examination. So we will describe the internal findings. So internal findings, the tissue under mark is dry, white, glistering, pale and parchmentized. After the dissection of the neck we can see. And mainly the organs like solid organs, lungs and abdominal organs are congested. And petechial hemorrhage can be present in most of the cases over the lungs. Thyroid bone fracture can be seen in also 15 to 20% of cases. That is abduction type fracture, commonly at greater coronary and usually above 40 years of age, because with the hyoid bone with the body fuses at 40 years of age. So in 15 to 20% cases there could be a fracture at greater coronary or abduction type of fracture can be seen, but after the 40 years of age, because that time the ossification center, these bones ossified. There are certain types of hanging which is equally important to discuss, like judicial hanging, autoerotic hanging or sexual asphyxia. It is also called as sexual asphyxia, and lynching. So in most of the time, in most of the cases we have seen this hanging is basically a suicidal kind of thing. So this is the commonest type of suicide in India. After so in many cases that hanging is usually suicidal. So we'll focus on the judicial hanging. So what is judicial hanging? Judicial hanging is very important in Indian scenario because it is to carry out death sentence. So in our judiciary we give death sentence by hanging so to carry out their sentence, it is atypical type. A rope is looped around the neck and not placed below the angle of jaw. So in this type of death, sudden stoppage and complete suspension after a sudden fall through 5 to 7 meters cause fracture dislocation of second, third and fourth cervical vertebra. So the cause of death will be the sudden stoppage and complete suspension after a sudden fall through 5 to 7 meters, and there is a fracture dislocation of second, third and fourth cervical vertebra. The next one is sexual asphyxia, or it is also known as autoerotic asphyxia. This is a type of accidental hanging. Here asphyxia leads to sexual gratification, and it is commonly, this is not a common thing. So it is associated with masochism, sadism or transvestism. So while asphyxiating himself, the person may lose consciousness and may asphyxiate to death. So in such type of hanging, so it is very important to examine examine the crime scene, because this is not a common type of asphyxia. This is autoerotic asphyxia or sexual asphyxia. This a type of asphyxia, crime scenes. Why the crime scene is important? Because you can see or you can have a clue of many things. You can find different things which is not very normal for the society. Like a male, usually the victims are male, not usually, victims are always males and usually young. The person may be naked or partially naked. You can see the pornographic videos may be running. Also such literature like pornographic literature or adult book or nude photographs of females may be found. Though the person may be dressed in a clothes of opposite sex. So this is basically done to feel the sexual gratification. So this is basically for the sexual gratification, and they asphyxiate accidentally. So this is very important to visit the crime scene. Many things will be cleared after visiting the crime scenes. Female undergarments and even sanitary pads, wigs and makeup may be worn. Frequently arms and legs and sometimes waist and genitalia may be tied with a rope, string or wire. There is frequent evidence of self-mutilation, example puncture wound, cuts and burns. Next we'll go to the homicidal hanging. Homicidal hanging is very rare as it needs so many people to hang a single person. So possible easily if victim is unconscious, victim is the child and victim is very weak. Usually it is very less common. One example is a lynching. Lynching is a type of homicidal hanging. So in hanging, one thing is also very important to differentiate between the ante-mortem hanging and the post-mortem hanging. So in ante-mortem hanging there are certain differences which is important to know. For example, a ligature mark produces imprint mark may be grooved, brownish or parchment-like. In post-mortem hanging we can't see any such features. Slavery dribble, ante-mortem, in ante-mortem it is present but in post-mortem absence. Drag marks over the body. In ante-mortem obviously it will be absent, or in post-mortem it may be present. La facies sympathetica present but usually it is rare, but in post-mortem it is totally absent. Asphyxial signs of death, those classical triad we have discussed already, cyanosis condition and petechial hemorrhage, that will be present in case of ante-mortem hanging, and in post-mortem hanging it will be absent. The next topic, the next part of this topic, which is called strangulation. We are discussing about the strangulation. What is strangulation? Strangulation is that form of asphyxia in which there is constriction of neck by any means without suspending the body. So we can see in hanging case it was the weight of the body, or in strangulation without suspending the body. Or there is one more thing, that strangulation is usually homicidal. In most of the cases it is homicidal. Sometimes it could be accidental, or very rare it is suicidal, because to strangulate himself it's a tedious job. It's quite impossible. There are different types of strangulation, which is ligature strangulation and manual strangulation. So common types of strangulation, we can say that ligature strangulation, Barnes Tola, mugging, garroting, manual strangulation or throttling. We'll discuss one by one. We'll discuss about the ligature strangulation. Hence the word ligature, that means the ligature material could have been used, must have been used. So strangulation by constriction of neck by a ligature material other than hand of assailant. So in this type of strangulation, the ligature mark is also very important. So the mark is well defined and slightly depressed, present usually at middle of thyroid cartilage or below it. The mark is transverse and completely encircles the neck. So the mark is usually more prominent at front and sides than the back due to the thick skin and usually less pressure at the back, but it is more evident in the front. The external findings. The signs of asphyxia, the classical triad of asphyxia is more prominent if a greater construction force is applied. Intense congestion and deep cyanosis of head and neck is seen. Petechial hemorrhage are present in eyelids, conjunctiva, face, forehead and scalp. Face is puffy, edematous, congested and cyanotic. So here the difference between the hanging and strangulation must be discussed. So we will discuss some difference between the hanging and strangulation. So we will start with the manner. So in case of hanging, it is usually suicidal, but in case of strangulation, it is usually homicidal. Saliva dribbling from mouth over chin or chest in case of hanging, but in case of strangulation no such dribbling is present. And the important thing is the ligature marks. Hence we have already discussed the ligature mark in case of hanging, which is oblique, not usually, which is oblique, non-continuous and above the level of thyroid cartilage. In case of strangulation, it is horizontal, continuous, usually at or below the level of thyroid cartilage. The tissue underneath the mark, it will be dry, pale, hard and blistering in case of hanging, and in case of strangulation it is bruised. The neck muscles, injury to the neck muscles are rare in case of hanging, and injury to the neck muscles are common or very common in case of strangulation. Larynx and trachea, injury, fracture rare in case of hanging, and in case of strangulation it is more common. Bleeding from nose, mouth or ear is less common in case of hanging, and it is more common in case of strangulation from nose, mouth or ear. Signs of asphyxia in case of hanging is less prominent, and hence we have already discussed the signs of asphyxia is more prominent in the case of strangulation. So hence we have discussed the ligature strangulation. Next little by little we will discuss all the common methods of this strangulation. The second one is Barnes Dula. In this case of strangulation, two sticks, one in front of the neck and the other on the back of the neck, tied with a rope which is tightened to constrict the neck and leading to death. Sometimes a single stick in front of the neck is pressed against the neck by standing on both sides of it. So what is the main things? So in this case there is a constriction of neck, but it is done with the help of bars or sticks. Hence it is called as a Barnes Dolan. The next one is mugging. It is strangulation by holding the neck in the bend of the elbow. Bend of the elbow. This is the place where the neck is holding. The victim is attacked usually from the behind. The third one is garroting. So garroting is a type. It was a type of execution or practiced in the Spain and in Turkey. It was practiced as a method of executing death sentence in the Spain and in Turkey, where an iron collar was tightened around the neck with the help of a screw, or it is also called as a Spanish windlass. Sometimes the neck is also forced against a sharp spike which damages the spinal cord. So how it was done? The ligature is thrown over the neck and tightened quickly by a lever or by twisting, leading to sudden loss of consciousness. The third one is manual strangulation or throttling. So manual strangulation or throttling is asphyxia produced by compression of neck by human hands. So it is always homicidal and rarely accidental. Suicidal throttling is not possible. So hence we have discussed today. So the rest of the thing we'll discuss in the next lecture. So hence we have discussed today the definition of asphyxia, what are the types of asphyxia. We have focused mainly on the violent asphyxia, that is mechanical asphyxia, and mechanical asphyxia we have discussed the hanging and the strangulation. So in hanging we have discussed the types of hanging, what are the external and internal findings. In the case of the postmortem examination, what are the classical triad of this asphyxia or hanging, what are the major difference between the hanging and strangulation, the neck structures, discussed about the ligature material, and we have discussed about the strangulation, types of strangulation. So hope the material was understandable for you. We will discuss the rest of the topic in the next lecture. Thank you very much.